This is a movie review. Yes, I actually more or less got a request for this movie, or someone gave me an idea at least, in a comment of another ASMR movie review video. So I thought, well, I've been away for a while, I've been partying all weekend, so yeah, why not make another video today? And there you are. Now you can see me and I can't see you, but that doesn't matter. So today's movie is a true classic, and one that I have loved since I was a kid, which might seem a bit strange when I show you which movie it is. And you're going to read it in the description, so I might show you right away. This is Stanley Kubricks' version of Stephen King's The Shining, with Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, and Scatman Crothers, I think his name was, yes. Now, put all this baby up here, and the lighting isn't perfect by any means, so I'm so sorry for that. I don't really know how it works with putting out pictures in a review. Sorry again, because I have been thinking about accompanying my movie reviews with some pictures from the actual movie. But I don't know how that works with the copyrights. But if you know, you can tell me in the comment section, because I think it would be a nice addition to the actual video to just put up some pictures from the movies that I'm reviewing. I don't know if they can sue me for this, but I don't think so. Well, anyway, the tide of terror that swept America is here, it says. And I guess most of you have seen the movie, so I don't think I'm going to spoil anything, am I? That's the big problem with reviewing a film, is that there's often a chance of spoiling things, but you are warned. There are spoilers in this review. So instead of me just trying to remember the story, which isn't so hard to do, I would remember the story, but I can read from the back, and that thing might make more sense, maybe. So I will start reading. Jack Torrance is assigned to be caretaker for the Overlook Hotel, which is located high in the Sierras. During the job interview, he is told that the last caretaker got cabin fever and killed his family with an axe. But Jack doesn't scare easily. He, his wife Wendy, and son Danny travels to Overlook at closing day, and everything seems perfect. But Danny has a rare gift, the Shining, which enables him to see the past and the future. Hotel chef Dick has the same gift and warns Danny about room 237. So, as you might imagine, the story goes that there are ghosts at the hotel, or are they just mental ghosts, in the head? No, there have been many persons trying to pull the movie apart and just analyze it and But I go for there are ghosts at the hotel, because there are in the book, and I go by the book standard, so there are ghosts. And they want Danny's gift. So by trying to possess Jack, they are hoping that he will do the same thing as the last caretaker and kill the family, and thus acquiring Danny's gift. And they just pulled up a car outside my house, and there might be some dogs barking, so I will pause and I will be right back. So hello, I'm back. The dog didn't notice that someone was walking outside my house. Thanks God. So it was unnecessary for me to pause the video, but anyway, I'm back. Yes, where was I? Yeah, there are ghosts at the hotel, and they want to acquire Danny's rare gift of the Shining. And doing so by making Jack absolutely crazy. And of course they succeed. That's no spoiler if you look at the cover. And I know you can see it, it's an axe going through the door, and Shelley Duvall is screaming her lungs out. And I think nobody would think that's another person than Nick Nicholson, so yeah, I guess it wasn't kind of a spoiler when I said that he actually goes mad and tried to do the same thing with his family. And if he succeeds, well, you just have to see the movie, now won't you? But I must say this is one of the creepiest movies I have actually seen in terms of atmosphere. And as I said in the beginning, it's one of my all-time favorite, because when I was a kid, me and a friend was at my daddy's house or apartment, and I didn't live with my daddy, so we were just visiting. And on his table, and this was during the 80s, so having a VCR was pretty luxurious back then. And he had 3 movies on his table. The first one was Walter Hill's The Warriors. The second one was Lucio Fulci's House by the Cemetery. And the third one was The Shining. Now, we basically wouldn't stop yapping at him, nagging at him we wanted to watch these movies, and I was kind of like 8 or 9, and my friend was kind of like 11. And after convincing him for a while, he actually put on, I think it was House by the Cemetery first, and we were like, especially at the end where they rip up the evil Dr. Freudstein's gut, and they kind of like pours out what looks like macaroni or something. Well, I might review that one in another video. I will do that actually. I have reviewed some Fulci movies. Oh, I'm so sorry, it's that stupid Facebook notification. Hope I didn't give you a heart attack there. Now, as I said, it is a very atmospheric movie, and it's very creepy, kind of. And the special effects, this isn't a special effects heavy movie by any means, but the special effects that are in the movies is absolutely mind-blowing in terms of realistic looking, what can we say, zombies, ghosts, rotting cadavers. The room that I mentioned, 237, in that room, and this is also a spoiler, there once was a lady who I think killed herself in a bathtub, and she's very evil and very, very nasty. So that's why Danny gets the warning not to enter that room, but of course he does. Now we don't get to see Danny's encounter with the drowned hag, but he tells his dad, and as a good dad, Nicholson goes to the room, and the scene is so unnerving. It's slow building, and there's this beautiful woman who comes out of the bathtub and starts cuddling with him, and he kisses her, and then he watches the mirror in the bathroom, and she's like all moldy, and pieces of flesh are falling off her body, and really disgusting. And it's such a gritty image, because it's kind of like a green moldy light in the room, and it's nasty. And it's kind of like intercut, if that makes any sense, with another scene which doesn't really make any sense, which makes the scene almost like surreal, because at the same time as the rotten hag is kind of like clawing and laughing at Nicholson, who backs off and tries to escape, there's intercuts of another corpse in the bathtub slowly rising. And the eyes are all like, milky, and the mouth is open. And it's really disgusting and nasty. And, when I was just 9 years old, that scene, man, it made me don't want to go in the bathtub that night or the week that came after that. So, yeah, these effects are very nicely done. And I should have, of course, checked out who made those effects, because that would have been nice. Stan Winston comes into mind, but I don't think it was him. Well, it's very well acted, and I know many people give Nicholson the most credit for his insane portrayal of Jack Torrance going slowly into madness, or slowly might be a bad choice of words, and I will come to that later. But the one that acts the best is Shelley Duvall, who plays Wendy, the wife, because she's crying, and she's whimpering, and she really looks terrified. And I heard that I know, because I've seen an behind the scenes documentary, that he pushed her very hard, that sometimes she just cried. So yeah. Now, as I said earlier, this is a point. Stephen King didn't really like Kubrick's version. He thought that Kubrick kind of butchered his version of his book. And as a fan of both the book and the movie, I must say there's a clear difference. That was what I was coming to. Nicholson's performance. In the book, Jack Torrance is an average guy. He has a drinking problem. He has stopped drinking after an accident where he didn't accidentally. He hit a student because he's a teacher. And he has stopped drinking, but he tries to make amends and try to be a good guy. And he loves his family, he loves his kid, But in the movie, the first time you see Nicholson at the job interview at Overlook, he looked bonkers, man. He looks crazy as hell. And when they are driving up to Overlook in the beginning of the movie, and the kid is saying something like, "Oh, Dad, I'm hungry," and he's just watching in the back mirror. "Well, you should have eaten something on the way before we started to drive." And it clearly looks like he would, throw the kid out of the vehicle. And the sadistic way he tells Danny about a donner party. Well, it was a kind of wagon times, and they basically got stuck in the mountains, and they ate each other, They had to resort to cannibalism in order to survive. So he seems crazy at the start. And that's fine by me. I think that makes it even more scary in some ways, because they are going to be alone, snowed in with a potential madman, and that there are ghosts in the hotel that makes him even crazier. That's just even more scary. So yeah, I think his acting is a bit over the top, but it always is with Nicholson. And the kid, Danny Lloyd is his name, who plays Danny, makes a good job. He's a bit wooden, I think, but he's a kid, and it was in the late 70s. I think it was started at 79 and finished in the 80s, 1980. So yeah, he does a good job, and Chatman Crothers, who plays Dick Halloran, the chef, makes a good job. So it's a very well acted movie. But it differs from the book. In the book there's no maze in which Nicholson chases Danny. And yeah, this is my biggest problem with the movie, which it doesn't really matter, but I would have liked to see it personally. Because in the book, Nicholson gets possessed, more or less, and he's at the very end, before he, spoiler, dies, he kind of changes his appearance, and he's like zombie-like, you know. I think King wrote kind of like his eyes were all white and all sunken in, and you know. And I remember when the hotel is about to blow because it explodes in the book, he kind of takes, he doesn't have an axe either, he has a croquet mallet. And he kind of like starts to bash in his own face to show the real Jack behind it or something, I don't remember. But that would have been something I would have liked to see in the Kubrick movie. Now I know that they kind of touched upon it in Stephen King's own miniseries of The Shining, in which Steven Weber played Jack. I like that version too. But I think it could have been better if it had been made for a TV company that allowed certain scenes which I know are cut. Like for instance at the big ball when Stephen King himself plays, and this is funny, and now we are into another movie, but who gives a beep? Well, Stephen King himself plays Louis Creed, and if you remember, that was the kid's, the toddler's name in Pet Sematary who got run over, so yeah, he plays kind of like a director for a band, and when the clock strikes 12 they all start to decay and melt in a hideous way, and that was cut from the TV movie. Yeah, so is there anything else I can say about this movie? Wendy Carlos has done the soundtrack, and it's kind of like, what do you call, industrial, it's a digital synth, you know, I can't find a word, but it's very, very moody, and sets the tones very right for the movie, you know. So, today's film tip is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. And I know I used to set kind of like a grade for how good a movie is, and this is, of course, if you have heard my rant here for 12 minutes, it's a 10 out of 10. I love this movie. It's not for everyone because it's a bit slow, but it's psychological, and it's goes under your skin, kind of. So yeah. The Shining with Jack Nicholson. That was my bad impression. Oh, I look like an overly attached girlfriend there for a while. Yeah. So, with that said, I'm going to give you just a little short update. I have, as you might have known if you have watched my earlier videos, I have ordered Dracula fangs for Dracula. So before I get them, they are in the mail office right now, so I will go get them. Oh, my neighbors are screaming at their kids, sorry. I hope that didn't come out too much. So I will get them on Tuesday, and I will record the next chapter. And I was like going through how many chapters it will be, and I think it was 14 or something. I just keeps coming up with more that I can take from the novella to the book to the retelling of the story in my ASMR series. So yeah, it's 30 now, but I have actually grown my thumbnail for a particular scene. So yeah, well, that was it for this. Now there won't be any more videos today because I am tired after the weekend. So I will hope you have a great Sunday. As always, rock on, and I will see you soon. Now have a really nice sleep.